Hey kids, it's great to be with you again. Here we come, me and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Bear. We're here to tell you another Christmas story. And this Christmas story is kind of a cool and kind of important story. It's about, you know how sometimes at Christmas we think about all the things that we're going to be getting? Even grown-ups do that. But this book talks a little bit about the joy of giving, how we can get really excited and plan about the things that we could give. So let's see what the Berenstein Bears have to say about the joy of giving. It was the week before Christmas, and all over Bear Country, everybody was busy getting ready for the big day. They were Christmas shopping and Christmas decorating and Christmas everything. Down at the chapel in the woods, the cubs of the Bear Country were busy getting ready for their Christmas Eve play. Remember when we had Christmas plays at our church? They were so fun and we all got ready. Well, that's what those guys were doing, getting ready for their Christmas play. It was the story of the first Christmas, and brother and sister had an important role. They were going to be the camel of the three wise bears. Sister was the front of the camel, and brother brought up the rear. They thought it was the best costume ever. Mrs. Ursula, their Sunday school teacher, was directing. "All right, wise bears," she called. "Enter stage right." The three wise bears came on stage. They carried gifts and wore long robes and crowns and fake beards. They followed the Christmas star made of foil-covered cardboard that hung up above the stage. The first wise bear was played by Sammy Bruno, who had a loose front tooth that made him a little hard to understand. "A star! A star!" he cried. "I see a star!" Mrs. Ursula sighed. "Okay, Camel," she called. "You're on." Sister and brother followed the three wise bears. It was hard to see out of the costume, and Sister accidentally knocked over a palm tree. The three wise bears tripped, going down in a big tangle. Oh my goodness! A big tangle. Oh dear, said Mrs. Ursula. "Will we ever be ready?" "Sorry, Mrs. Ursula," said Sister, poking her head down. "It's hard to see in there." "I'll need to make your peepholes bigger," said Mrs. Ursula. "That's enough for today, cubs. It's time to go home." The cubs took off their costumes and went into the chilly evening air. "Brr," shivered Sister. "It's beginning to feel a lot like Christmas." "Yes," agreed brother, "and it's looking that way too." The whole neighborhood was decorated for Christmas. Sister and brother walked home in the soft glow of many colored lights. How pretty those bear houses are, hey? The next day, the bear family went shopping. It was time for brother and sister to pick out very special gifts. This year, they had 2 crisp $10 bills from Grizzly Gramps and Grandma to spend on other people. Of course, brother and sister hoped that they would have some money left over for themselves. Sister was saving for a brand new Barbie doll, and brother wanted a special rubber band powered model airplane. So, see how they're dreaming up there of the things that they want for Christmas? Papa and Honey helped brother do his shopping while Mama went with sister. Brother picked out a Barbie doll outfit that he found on sale for sister, and sister bought a small airplane model for brother. Each cost just a few dollars. Mama and Papa thought that maybe each cub should spend more money on one another. "What about the joy of giving?" whispered Mama to Papa. "It seems brother and sister are only caring about the joy of getting." True, agreed Papa. But let's not interfere. They'll learn about the joy of giving for themselves. They look so happy carrying their bags, hey? Okay. Over the next few days, Christmas excitement in Bear Country grew and grew. Brother and sister could hardly wait. They were going to be a camel and get lots of presents, too. The play rehearsals went well. Sister could see better out of the larger pupils, and everyone knew their lines. But it was still a little bit hard to understand Sammy Bruno. When Christmas Eve finally arrived, practically everyone in Bear Country jammed the chapel in the woods to see the cubs perform. A hush fell as the curtain opened and the play began. First, the angel Gabriel came to Mary, telling her that she would give birth to Jesus. Then Joseph and Mary journeyed to Bethlehem, where the innkeeper gave them shelter in a stable. Then Mary gave birth to a tiny baby who was laid in the manger. An angel of the Lord appeared to the shepherds, sharing the good news of Jesus' birth so they could go and worship the newborn king. Look at the sheep in their costumes. They're so cute. Finally, the three wise bears and their faithful camel trooped on the stage. The foil-covered Christmas star hung high above the stable, sparkling in the spotlight. A star, I see a star, Sammy said clearly. His loose tooth had come out backstage. There's the camel with their eyes peeking out. The three wise bears kneeled before Mary, Joseph, and Jesus. The shepherds and the angels joined them. Everyone bowed low before the tender baby. The three wise bears opened their treasures and gave Jesus their precious gifts. The audience grew very still. Then someone in the back softly started to sing, "Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright." And the rest of the audience joined in near to the end. Sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Peeking out of the camel costume, tears came to sisters and brothers' eyes. It seemed that they never understood the joy of giving until that moment. All the gifts of all the Christmases of all the years went back to those first gifts given to the tiny baby long ago. The Christmas Eve play was over, and the audience cheered. Everyone felt the true spirit of Christmas had been with them that night. On Christmas morning, brother and sister led the family downstairs bright and early. Instead of heading to their piles of presents, they went to their gifts for each other. "Merry Christmas," they said, holding out their presents. "From one end of the camel to the other," said brother. "Thanks," laughed sister. "You were a first-rate backup." Brother and sister were delighted with their gifts and gave each other big bear hugs. Honey opened her presents, and brother and sister joined in. In the back of their minds, though, they were still thinking about the money they had left over from their shopping trip. I wonder what they're going to do with it. Later that morning, the family went to the chapel in the woods for the Christmas Day service. A light snow covered the ground, and all of Bear Country was glistening in the snow. So pretty. On the way, sister and brother noticed a group of bears playing Christmas carols. They were collecting poor for needy people in the big black pot. Brother and sister looked at each other. They dug in their pockets and they dropped all their money into the pot. Wow! Isn't that great? Mama and Papa, they smiled with pride. "You know what the good book says," Mama told them. "It's more blessed to give than to receive." "We know," said brother. "We receive an awful lot. so it's time we gave some of it back." "Look," said Sister, feeling in her pocket. "I still have a quarter." Honey reached for it, and Sister put it in her hand. Then little Honey, holding on to Papa, toddled over to the big black pot and dropped the quarter in. The bears playing the music paused. "Merry Christmas," they all said. "Aw, little baby bear Honey." "Merry Christmas," answered the bear family. What a great ending to that story, isn't it? Hey, Rudy the bear. I really like the ending to that story. God bless you guys. We will see you next week for another story.